is a wonderful, wonderful new Wednesday, is it not, Lady Mel?
Dare say I'd call it even a witchy Wednesday, my lovely, lovely Jess.
We are finally, once again, leaving the state of Florida.
Oh my goodness. I thought we'd never get out. Where are we going this time?
Just a few paces up and out, we're heading off to Alabama.
Alabama? Where the skies are so blue?
Yes, I forgot the part of the song. Ah!
It happens. Look, I can't say, Lord, I'm coming home to you because I've never lived in Alabama, but I did remember what color the sky was. Dysentery.
Lady Mel. So, you've already stated that you've never been to Alabama.
That is correct. I have not been to Alabama yet.
Have any of the friends that you know been in Alabama or live there?
No, but I know of two mimetic stories about Alabama that have made it around the internet in very different eras.
Ooh, do you want to give us a little hint on them?
One has to do with a holiday that happened recently in the springtime.
Not a Jet 2 holiday, right?
Not a Jet 2 holiday, no.
All right, what was it?
I'll give you another hint. These creatures are usually associated with Lucky Charms.
Leprechauns?
In 2006, there was the Mobile leprechaun, which has become a meme from that time. Like, this is one of the first YouTube viral videos that, became super popular on the platform.
No, you're kidding me.
I'm really not. To the point where Key and Peele made a sketch kind of referencing it. If you've ever seen the Key and Peele sketch where, there's a news van in a neighborhood and they make up a story on the spot about a Pegasus, that's referencing that event.
Oh my fucking God.
So, it is also known as the Crichton leprechaun, and it was first attested on March 14th, 2006, also known as Pi Day. Fun fact, that was roughly 10 days before I stopped being single.
Congratulations.
This lore is so old that it predates my relationship with my husband.
Oh, yeah, that is old as heck.
Mm-hmm. So, what had happened was that local NBC affiliate, WPMI TV, was alerted to crowds gathering in Crichton, which is on the outskirts of Mobile, and dispatched reporter Brian Johnson to investigate the situation. Johnson had previously received numerous calls about possible leprechaun sightings and questions about it from friends at a barbershop and his church. And, quote, things just sort of snowballed from there.
Are we sure they just didn't see people that were of Scottish or Irish descent or probably gingers?
It is now thought that the leprechaun was possibly an owl, and things kind of got out of hand.
Who?
Yeah, someone said you look like an owl.
Well then.
And it's known specifically because during the middle of the news sketch, and we will put it up on the video, they showed an amateur sketch of a leprechaun that has become mimetic. People will wear that sketch to this day at St. Patrick's Day parties.
Oh dear Lord, the poor owl.
No. And the thing is, that's not the most, that is a mimetic story from Alabama, but it's not one of the more I'm trying to find a way to phrase this because this one is slightly controversial, but really funny. And it's the Montgomery Brawl.
Wait. What type of brawl are we going through?
Not brawl for the titties, brawl like a street fight.
Yeah, I thought it was a tavern brawl.
No. Okay, I misheard. The Montgomery Brawl happened in 2023. And I remember watching this happen live on TikTok.
No.
I bet you did too.
I don't think it was on my feed.
So I'm minding my business, hanging out, scrolling, doing my doom scrolling. It's August 5th, 2023, and there is live footage of people on a riverboat catching a fight going down. Because it's the summer, people are out, they're loose, they're partying, and you have, these people on a boat that are in the way of where the riverboat is supposed to dock. Now, for the, for complete transparency for this story, the people who are blocking, who are where they are not supposed to be, are white. The people who are running the operations and trying to do things properly are black. So, the ship captain goes to the person who's improperly parked saying, hey, can you move? And gets belligerent drunk thrown back at him. And words eventually escalate to hands from the belligerent drunk, and it was caught on video, the ship captain throwing his hat up in the air. And that was like a signal for anyone in the vicinity. Like, that was an all hands on deck situation.
I think I remember it. Is this the one also with the chair?
Yes, it's the one with the chair, Unc with the chair.
Yes, I remember this. I didn't catch it live, but I remember seeing clips of it.
Because I saw the clip of, like, the kid jumping off of the boat and swimming. The kid that they call, like, Aquaman to this day.
Yeah, I remember that part of the clip too.
You know, that whole thing was, like, caught, and the boat's name was called the Harriet too. And, you know, those folks handled that situation as best they could. And because of just how everything went down, and, you know, the many eyewitnesses and video evidence of how and why that happened, the people who were improperly parked were properly arrested.
You know what? Yup, that makes total fucking sense.
Now, I'm not saying that you should hit people with a chair when they're, you know, being belligerent. That, well, was also in self-defense, as it was recorded.
Yes, I do not doubt that.
So yeah, in recent years, like, you know, half to be, because it's only been 3 years ago this summer, people have referred to that as, like, you know, an extended version of Black History.
It should be, and it is, because it's something that is happening with history.
Yeah, Trey specifically has been like, that didn't happen in February, but we count that. But yeah, those are the two more recent viral stories from Alabama that I have known about and have been exposed to, as I don't have any personal experience. But I think we're going into a much deeper dive with you today.
We are. I know my personal story with Alabama is due to my cousin, because he lives there currently with his wife.
Ooh, is this the one with the Maine Coon?
This is the one with the Maine Coon.
Hey.
Yes. So it's not really that bad. It's when we went to go visit him, he lived, right now he's moving to Virginia, Mountain Mamas.
Country roads take me home.
And we were in Dothan. And that is probably, I think he told us that's the peanut capital.
Oh, word, okay.
And he's told us, all right, guys, Dothan is like a big circle. You got the outer circle and the inner circle. I'm saying this nicely. Stay on the outer circle during the day. If you have to go through the inner circle, go through it by the day. Do not go through it at night. You will get shot.
Seeing as you're here, I'm thinking you heeded that advice.
We heeded that advice. We only went through during the day to get, I think, DQ. But he also, like, warned us ahead of time. It's like, hey, this isn't like Florida. If you're in a location, try to just speak English as much as possible, because you may not get service, or you may get, like, dirty looks because of your Spanish.
Ay, mi madre. But also, how does a place have to be like, listen, it's not like Florida? Wow.
Yeah. Like, you can imagine how bad it was that legitimately my husband went to the Publix that was 5 minutes away from where he was staying, and he was talking in Spanish. And this, I'm so sorry to say it like this. This is coming from my husband. A heavier set woman or obese woman was parked in front of him putting sodas in her cart, and he was talking to his mom. His mom speaks English a bit, but she prefers to speak in Spanish.
Like you do, and the Spanish is the language that she is, you know, most fluent in. It's the one that she grew up speaking in the first place, you know?
And he's just showing her around the Publix, because he's like, yeah, we have Publix in Florida.
We are the home state of the pub sub, it's true.
But he was just showing her, like, the different things that they had, things like that. And because he was speaking in Spanish, this woman was giving him a dirty-ass look.
And did he realize at first that it was because of the Spanish, or did that dawn on him slowly?
Oh, he just looked at her. With the camera, he noticed it. And I'm quoting, from what I remember, this was like 2 years ago.
It's been a minute, I got you.
Forgive my language. I don't mean to offend people.
This is rated E for explicit. Not so much for everybody.
He said, mira esta gorda fea que me está mirando a mí como yo soy un loco porque estoy hablando español.
We can let y'all translate that one at home.
Vete de una dieta antes que tú me mires con esa cara.
Woohoo, yay. As we say, picante.
He was not happy, and he let it know.
See, I have the opposite problem of your husband, where I have resting gringa face. A lot of times, if I'm in certain areas, people won't understand that I speak Spanish. And then they do, and I overhear things I shouldn't.
That's why my starting aspect is English or Spanish. Which one do you prefer?
Yeah, but then That is how you get some low-key tea.
That's how we scout the tea.
Until my dumb ass decides to answer in Spanish, and then whoops, like, you see, like, the Metal Gear Solid exclamation points go over the heads, like, oh shit.
It's like, oh shit, what did she hear?
And how long has she known? Estamos jodidos. Joder, tío.
Now, ghoulies, seeing as we're speaking about Alabama, no, we're not staying in Dothan. We're going a little bit more to the left of Dothan. We will be covering Mobile, Alabama, here on Where the Ghoulies Spill the Tea. So, Mobile is located roughly 1 hour away from Pensacola, Florida, with the Gulf Coast as its beachfront, along with being 1.5 hours away from the DeSoto National Forest in the Mississippi.
Was this the same DeSoto from Sarasota?
The exact same DeSoto.
Mi madre, that guy got around.
He did more than a hooker.
Ooh, wee.
Mobile, Alabama was founded in 1702. This city is also credited as the birthplace of Mardi Gras, thanks to the French that were there celebrating.
Has anyone told New Orleans this yet?
Oh, trust me, I dug in deep trying to confirm this information.
Oh, man. Yeah, if no one has told New Orleans yet, I'm not volunteering to do that.
Don't, you'll get in a fight with them.
I want to go back.
So, this city is also credited as the birthplace of Mardi Gras thanks to the French that were having a celebratory feast before Lent in 1703.
Oh, yeah, no, that's even like pre-Revolutionary War for sure.
That it is. Mobile's main jobs revolve around shipbuilding, the ports, which include import and export, and aerospace manufacturing. So, Cocoa Beach isn't the only location with spaceship parts.
That's good. We need places to keep building things so that we can go back to the moon. Shout out to Artemis too. We love you.
Remember, it's haunted.
Be careful, it's haunted.
This city is also considered the city of Six Flags because it was owned by the English, French, Spain, the Republic of West Florida.
The building calling?
I think it is.
I'm gonna let it go to voicemail.
The Confederate States and the United States.
And here I thought it was the city of Six Flags because the first, Six Flags was there. Nope, it's in Texas.
You know what? I also thought about that. I'm like, oh shit, this is where Six Flags is.
Nope, Texas has a similar history of being under six quote-unquote nations.
Holy cow. They currently have a population between 185,097 to 203 to 416,000. The current people living in Mobile are 50% black, 41% white, non-Hispanic. They're very clear about that.
We do get into everything, it's true.
3% Hispanic/Latino, 2% Asian, and 2% other/mixed.
All right, so we've got quite a representation here.
We got a mixed bag.
Love it.
So now, Lady Mel, we are getting into history.
Hey, let's do it.
Lady Mel, I need you to gather your change of clothes. Make sure you have your most puffy dress with the best boat-shaped neckline.
Ooh, I will. It's got daisies on it.
Beautiful. I'll prep my bonnet and dress, because we're going back to 1834.
Oh, I'm a little worried.
We are at our current ripe old age, along with being white Hispanic women, are currently manning our households.
Okay, better than it could be, all things considered.
Much better than what we can be doing right now. When news would reach our doorsteps, there has been a murder.
What? A murder?
A murder!
Oh my lord and everything. Come to the parlor. We have to discuss this right quick.
Poor Nathaniel Frost was found hung on a tree.
Oh my goodness. Like literally this morning?
This morning.
Poor thing. It was already enough that he was dealing with the consumption. Tuberculosis.
But that's not the worst of all.
Oh, there's more?
The papers are saying that it was his housemate and co-worker, Charles Boyington.
But they were roommates!
They were roommates!
And he was murdered by the roommate.
He was murdered by the roommate, or so they say.
Oh no. Oh, this is dastardly.
Even the mayor put out a reward to capture him, $250.
Ooh, I'm gonna do some quick calculations. That translates to roughly $9,499.56 in today money. That's not a small amount of money to find a murderer.
It's not a small amount. That's how outraged everybody is right now.
I certainly am. I mean, look, the tuberculosis was gonna get him. Did they have to expedite it that fast? What did this guy do?
Apparently he owed Charles money.
Oof. Or as we say in this house, oof des nee.
Oof des nee. Let's talk about Charles.
Yes, rest in peace, Charles. We're going to talk about the dead for a second. Like we don't normally do.
Young 19-year-old Charles worked as a printer as well as a gambler.
You can have a job as a gambler?
Not really, it was his pastime.
I mean, if he spends that much time on it, it might as well be a job. But you get paid for jobs. Or at least you're supposed to.
You do get paid when you gamble.
Ooh, fair.
Yeah, the house just usually wins.
Oh.
He arrived in Mobile, Alabama from Connecticut in 1833, following the cotton boom. He rents a boarding room meeting Nathaniel Frost, his best friend and soon-to-be co-worker.
And future victim, not future murderer. I'm keeping an eye on this. It's giving talented Mr. Ripley vibes.
Yes. They would frequent dances and balls trying to fit in with high society.
Well, that is kind of that was the thing to do at the time. There was no internet.
That or having kids.
Oh, yeah, and I'm sure they could have made a valiant effort, but it wasn't going to happen between those two.
This is not a BL.
Aw.
Lady Mel, I have read enough manuals and historic isekais to know that what happens in balls and dances.
Ooh, there's a really pretty lady who's tired of everyone's shit and she knocks them out.
That's the anime of May I Ask for One More Thing.
Yes, that is correct. That's not what happened here, though, is it?
It's not.
Damn.
There Charles finds the love of his life, Rose de Fleur.
Did J.K. Rowling name this chick?
I think she got inspiration.
It's like Rose de Fleur, like Rose of the Flowers. Like, what do I name this really pretty French-flavored person that I want to associate with botanicals? I know!
Perfect name. Not only was she beautiful in Charles's eyes, but she came from a wealthy family as well.
Ooh, that never hurts, honey.
It doesn't, and it doesn't hurt when you're a poor man.
So, he stopped gambling with money and started gambling with love.
He was doing both.
Yeah, you know what? Fair.
This is legitimately the road to El Dorado, where Miguel and Tulio, there we go, look at each other and go, both. Both is good.
Both is good. Fun fact, in an initial draft of that movie, they were supposed to be a couple.
Woo! The forbidden BL.
It always goes back to me being a Fujoshi, folks. You just have to dig deep enough.
They had the romance of the ages. Charles would write Rose poetry and court her with a vigor that it almost cost him his job.
And I'm assuming it was the real job and not the gambling job.
Yeah, it was a printing job.
Yeah, he was never going to quit gambling.
Rose's father was not pleased at all.
I certainly would be. I'm just, listen, at this time, even the best dads are going to look at their daughters and be like, listen, you're my kid and all, but you're also an investment, and I need you to be a good investment for me. Not saying that's right. That's sadly been kind of the case for way too long of a time.
That is so true, Lady Mel. Because he saw his daughter as an investment, and this is us assuming as ladies of our modern time, he didn't want her to be connected with a poor printer. That didn't stop Rose from seeing Charles, though.
Listen, if there is one tale as old as time, it's the uptown girl falling for the guy from the wrong side of the tracks.
It's the bookworm girl falling for the bad boy.
Get in the car, Elizabeth.
Or the Mandy Moore situation where she's like, don't fall in love with me.
Oh my God, A Walk to Remember. I'm going to cry just thinking about that movie.
Please don't, then I'll cry.
Only a little bit.
During this time, Nathaniel was fighting tuberculosis. Charles, ever the helping hand, would help Nathaniel whenever he could, with Nathaniel helping to pay Charles's rent as a thank you.
So I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm seeing the dad through Crusader King 3 eyes. Look, it's either Fujoshi or CK3 with me. Those all roads lead to that realm. And he's like, man, I work so hard to have this heir ready to get my kingdom, and you fall in love with someone with tuberculosis and no money. Can I just re-roll? I don't want to invest in this anymore. I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Rose fell in love with Charles. Charles did not have tuberculosis.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, right. Okay, I'm getting the boys confused. Got it.
They were lovers.
Escándalo.
In our hearts.
In our hearts, for sure.
Mind you, I should mention this, and I did some digging just in case, because I didn't want this to be more in an aspect of what's going to happen further on. I did look up Charles's race just to see, like, with what's going to be happening, if that was a factor.
Oh, goodness. Well, considering it's Alabama in the 1830s, I'm assuming that there's going to be reasons why that might be a factor.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, boy.
Charles, for our story, and from historic points, is a white man. So, with what's going to happen within the story, it is not racially motivated from what I'm seeing.
So what you're saying is this is white on white crime.
Yes.
Always is.
So, Charles was a busy boy. Then we reach May 10th, 1834, where everything takes a turn and not for the best.
Oh. What happened on May 10th?
Well, Lady Mel, I need you to stop hanging the clothes on the line first.
Sorry. Yeah. It might look like it's going to rain anyway.
All right. So there's gossip around.
What are the people saying?
The people are saying that they saw both men go on a stroll near the Church Street graveyard.
What are they doing in the graveyard together?
Discussing plans, apparently.
Plans for what?
Maybe Charles was going to plan to marry Rose or propose to her.
Oh, does he need a best man, a wingman perhaps?
Probably discussing payment or things like that.
Oh, so he needs help getting a ring.
That could have been the issue there.
Baby boy, if you can't afford a ring, how are you gonna afford a wedding?
How are you going to afford a wife?
Short-term thinking leads to long-term problems.
Exactly. The time was 3:30 p.m. when Charles returned by himself back home.
Wait, hold on. 2 of them left and 1 came back.
Exactly.
Huh.
So, nosy neighbors questioned where Nathaniel was.
Yeah, buddy. Where did he go?
It was reported that Charles responded by saying the following: "Somewhere. I'm in a hurry. I cannot wait for him."
Listen, I know these 2 aren't an item, but that's one of the most Lestat things Lestat never said.
You know what? Yes.
Like, I just hear Sam Reed saying that in his French, and it's like, no, that fits.
They questioned his destination, and he responded with River Wharves.
You really gonna tell me this man needed to be there that badly?
He had a steamboat to catch.
Shit. Maybe he had a fight to break up.
Before arriving, it was reported that he was spotted in the general store buying some unusual items, such as a pair of pistols, a dagger, along with other items.
And this is like the equivalent of going to Walmart at 2 a.m. and getting like rope and fertilizer and bleach and a shovel.
It does not look good.
Signs are pointing to murder, sir.
By 8 p.m., he was on the James Monroe, a steamboat, sent to Montgomery.
Not to be confused with James Monroe, the president. That man was not swimming on the river and having people ride on him.
That would have been an interesting spot.
We can only dream.
By the morning of May 11, 1834, the town was set for the shock of their lives.
Oh. Uh-oh.
The body of Nathaniel Frost was found hung on a tree with gashes and blood all over.
No!
As Charles was the last person seen with Nathaniel, he was the main culprit.
Oh, and I bet he does not even have a proper alibi.
The newspapers claimed him as a murderer, and the mayor even gave a $250 reward for the capture of Charles.
Man, and that is giving Florida sunshine laws.
The enraged officers were quick to ride on their horses to intercept the steamship.
Oh, no.
They found Charles in the ladies' room playing cards.
Wait, so was he playing cards in the ladies' bathrooms or like in a ladies' chamber? Like what kind of ladies' room are we talking about here?
I believe it's the ladies' chambers where like the girls would be there, and it's where all the gamblers were.
Okay. Ladies' room, quotation marks ladies' room.
Quotation marks ladies' room.
Got it. Paid ladies' room.
Charles was quickly arrested for murder and dragged back to Mobile, Alabama before being placed in the city jail. The citizens gathered around outside the jail, shouting, "Kill him! Drown him in the river! Hang him to a lamppost to the next tree."
Man, Mobile has no chill. God damn. I mean, fair enough. A dude was literally murdered, but, Just because the newspaper said he did it doesn't mean he did. They haven't even had a trial yet. There's no investigation. I've played enough Danganronpa and watched enough Law and Order to know how this goes.
Charles was giving very incompetent lawyers that didn't even try to protect him.
Oof, desu.
Charles was found guilty of murdering his housemate, Nathaniel Frost.
Well, that'll happen when you have lawyers that aren't actually doing their job.
Charles fought to the end, pleading his innocence to deaf ears.
Yeah, dog, these people just wanted to see blood, and mob mentality is a dangerous thing.
At his execution, Charles was reported to say, "I am innocent. I am innocent. But what can I do? When I'm buried, an oak tree with 100 roots will grow out of my grave to prove my innocence."
That seems very specific.
Charles was buried off Bayou Avenue in downtown Mobile, where, as he proclaimed, stands a strong oak tree.
Oh, well, would you look at that?
Much later, after Charles's death, 2 individuals confessed to the murder of Nathaniel Frost on their deathbed.
Dude.
Folks today say they can still hear crying and whispering around the oak tree, as if Charles is still fighting for his innocence beyond the grave.
Man, that's messed up. But also, how funny but not funny would it have been if Charles, knew that it didn't look good and made that claim about the oak tree because he ate, a shitload of acorns before they killed him?
That's the thing, he didn't know his friend was dead before.
Oh, shit. Oh, man, so that was just completely caught him by surprise.
Yeah, and since he's in the jailhouse, there's no way for him to even get his hands on acorns.
But I'm just saying, he would have made that claim about the oak, and knowing that, acorns are going to grow out of him no matter what. But again, that's just headcanon. That didn't actually happen. Just would have been really funny if it did.
You're not wrong. There's an inscription right by the tree that says, "The Boyington Oak. In 1835, Charles Boyington, unjustly hanged for friend's murder, predicted an oak would grow from his heart to prove his innocence. Alabama Folklife Association. William G. Pomeroy, Foundation 2020.
Damn, Charles, rest in peace, dog. You deserve better than that.
He did, and so did Nathaniel.
Yeah, the actual victim of this story, because it's called the Boyington Oak, but everyone's like, well, why is it the oak again? Oh, right, this guy died.
Yeah, unjustly accused of your friend's murder.
And 2 other dudes are like, well, my time's almost up. By the way, I murked this guy back in the 1830s. Peace.
Yeah, that's the fucked up part. We're gonna hit a little bit of folklore. The story of the Boyington Oak has been published in numerous times. The story is featured in Catherine Tucker's Wyndham's Jeffrey's Last 13, More Alabama Ghosts, John S. Sledge's Cities of Silence, Nelson and Nelson's A History of Church Street Graveyard, and Purett and Higgins' Crime and Punishment in Antebellum Mobile, The Long Story of Charles R.S. Boyington in Gulf Coast Historical. Ghost stories about the tree claim that visitors have reported hearing crying and sounds of whispers emanating from the vicinity of the tree. So this information is brought to us by the wiki along with the credited sources where they got this information from.
Good to know.
So the lesson I'm learning from Charles here is if I want to be proven innocent of a murder, I need to state that an oak will grow from my grave.
So the lesson I'm taking from here is that Alabama mob mentality can go a little bit together like bread and butter, because we have this story where, we have Charles Boyington basically being sentenced to death for a crime he clearly did not commit. And that was why? Because people wanted blood for that. They wanted that vengeance. We fast forward to the leprechaun story. One person mistakes an owl for a leprechaun, and suddenly the whole town agrees, yep, there's absolutely a leprechaun in that tree. And then we have the Montgomery Brawl, where, a community is attacked and a community responds.
Completely true. My theory is, in this aspect, we have to remember Rose's father.
Yeah, what's the deal? Oh, are you thinking maybe he paid those 2 guys to, cause a scuffle among everybody?
I don't think he had to pay people.
I mean, he had the money, but that doesn't mean that he spent it. You're right.
What I'm thinking happened is the town is talking, Nathaniel's dead, Charles is gone. Maybe Rose's father saw an opportunity to be like, it was Charles. He's the last person that saw Nathaniel alive. It has to be Charles.
And his own desire to keep his daughter out of a bad pairing probably pushed for that to happen. And considering who he was at the time and, with the money and the influence that he had, people will listen to that, even if it's not necessarily correct.
Yes, and it's also well known that Charles was a gambler, and Nathaniel owed him money.
So there was, potential motive is what you're saying.
Yes, they're stating that that was a motive, and that's also in the research I've done. It's not confirmed. That's why I didn't want to mention it in like the aspect of the story of what is factually given. It is assumed there is no strong credit or sourcing behind it, stating that yes, Nathaniel did owe him money, but as Charles was a gambler, he was used to like lending money, things like that. It could have been the issue of that's a strong motive. Maybe Nathaniel did owe him money. Charles wasn't after him for the money because he knew he was going to get it one way or the other. And it was just a bad circumstance that was happening.
Yeah, it seems like just a lot of wrong person, wrong time, wrong choices all around.
Pretty much. And the fact that he decided to just come to Mobile, Alabama for the cotton boom to increase his future and the prospects. He found love. He got a best friend. And within a few months of him moving, it all got ripped away.
Look, the way that echoes so many people's stories about the pandemic.
You're not wrong.
People will be like, listen, I was just getting my life together. I was planning all these things. And then March 2020 hit and nothing was ever the same again.
No, and then also the increase on domestic violence that happened because of the pandemic as well.
You learn a lot about who you are and who the people you surround yourself with when you can't escape either.
You are completely correct. Let's try and turn this back onto a brighter note.
Well, what do we got?
Besides the fact that we have the mob mentality, what else do you think has mob mentality?
What else has mob mentality in Alabama?
In general.
I mean, they take their high school football very seriously down there in Alabama, and high school and college football in Alabama and a lot of the southern states in particular.
You're not wrong about that. I'm more aiming toward the fact of mob mentality when it comes into cultural sayings.
Cultural sayings? Oh, we got some idioms up in here. All right. Goodness, I don't know. I might need a hint.
It's something we've grown up with quite a lot that we've heard our grandparents or our parents say to us.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. D-Man, I have no idea. I mean, I have a few, but there's so many.
I know for me, I'm not sure about you. My grandpa always told me, hey, always keep a $2 bill on your person to bring prosperity and money into you.
Oh, okay. No, that is totally new to me.
We also have the idioms of, hey, if a black cat crosses your sight in front of you, go another way.
Oh, this is going back into old wives' tales a little bit. It's going back into those, that cultural knowledge.
Yeah, because that's what we're covering next week.
Oh, whoa, okay. Okay, we're going into the OG woo-woo girlies. We're going into the old wives' tales. The things that we grew up hearing, believing, and on occasion realizing, oh man, they had a point.
That is strongly, and we would doubt them as children.
Yeah, don't get me started on what would happen when I rocked a chair by itself. My grandma was not happy about that.
Mine either.
Well, you'll hear more about that next time on
Where the Ghoulies Spill the Tea.
Sip, sip.
Thank you for staying after the show. Please enjoy your bloopers, and we'll be seeing you next Wednesday.
We'll cut this part out because I'm looking it up because I had it and then it's like, nope, just kidding, Mel. Dead air for you, bitch. I'm going to look it up and then I'll bring it right back.
Awesome. So then I'll cut this back in for you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So.
Mobile?
I've heard mobile. I say mobile. It's like tomato, you know? Or Gillespie.
With the Gillespie.
GIF. GIF has to be GIF, though. Or so I've been told.
Mobile's main job revolves around shipbuilding, ports, and the port. Fuck.
I believe in you. It's okay.
This city is also considered the city of Six Flags because it was owned by the England. Wow.
Whole ass England. All of it. Even Wales. Actually, no, Wales is separate. My apologies to the Welsh.
The England and the ass of England.
Charles III wasn't alive at that point. The lesson I'm taking from this is that mob mentality in Alabama kind of go like bread and butter. Because This whole story had to do with just the town seeking blood and vengeance for Nathaniel Frost and being super. I did not say Nathaniel correctly the first time. I'm gonna.